Here's the thing. Every weight loss video tells you how you need to move and how you need to eat. Nobody talks about the stuff that actually made you almost quit. The awkward conversations, the identity crisis, the hair situation, especially for my black and textured hair girlies. The phase to where your body looked completely different before it actually looked the way you wanted it to look. I lost 70 pounds and I'm going to be telling you guys 5 things that I genuinely wish somebody warned me about, because knowing them ahead of time would have saved me from thinking that something was completely wrong with me or completely wrong with my support system, or this was just harder than honestly it needed to be. But in reality, it was really just the process. So none of these things that we talk about today, you're not going to find them in a meal plan. You're not going to find them in a workout plan. They're those tricky, sneaky, in-between things that kind of just pop up. Things that happen in your life, your relationship, your sense of self while your body is changing. And in some ways, some of these things are actually harder than what you eat and how you move your body. I'm sharing them because the comments that I have been receiving, y'all, told me that I am not alone on this journey. And I wanted to let you guys know that you're not alone on this journey either. Nobody tells you about the in-between phase. Your body goes through this weird time. In the middle, sometimes you might feel like some things are starting to move a little bit backwards. Your clothes will start to fit differently, but not in a way that you actually might like. Your body might be bigger in some places. Your body actually just does some strange things before it settles into the weight that it's gonna be. And just from my own personal experience, I lost the 70 pounds. I started at like 195. Y'all, I got down to 125 and my arms just did not want to stretch back in. So therefore, my arms were much bigger than my body. And it got to the point to where it was like, all right, I'm like a small, extra small in most things, but my arm is not fitting into the clothes. So I had to do something about that. Personally, for myself, I did air sculpt because it wasn't necessarily, oh, you just need to tone up your arms. I had a lot of volume of just stubborn fat in that area, as well as loose skin in that area. Now I do have some videos on my air sculpt procedure. Not going to talk too much about it because that's not what this video is about, but I'll link it over here for you guys. But I just wanted to let you guys know that stuff can get a little weird throughout this process. I had some comments where people told me that they felt bulky, that their body wasn't cooperating, and just kind of wondering, were they doing this correctly? Like they were just having issues that they kind of weren't having issues before, but their body was definitely at a smaller space than before. So it's like, you got to be grateful, but at the same time, is this normal? But here's the thing, you're in the middle of a transition during this phase. You're not at the end destination. You are just passing through. This is why I think it is so important to pay attention to how you feel throughout this process, and not only how you feel, but how your energy is as well, because a lot of times we can get stuck on looking at ourselves in the mirror, and sometimes the mirror just be playing some tricks on us. Honestly, y'all, the mirror is not a reliable narrator in your story. I think something that is important for you to do is make sure you guys are taking progress photos. You don't have to do it weekly, but I say even monthly or quarterly. Just try to snap a photo of yourself in either tight clothing, swimsuit, naked, whatever you need to do for you. But that way it'll show you my stomach looks a little bigger. That's because my back has gone completely down. My boobs are a little deflated, but also everything else is much smaller. So you can get a full picture of what's going on here when you start to feel a little bit awkward in your body. But also during that time is a time to where you can start to recalibrate and start to really reassess your goals. You may have had some certain number in mind that you wanted to get to, but sometimes you might have to take a little pivot. You might have to start focusing on to work out different areas to help out some of those weird, funky, in-between problem areas. Your social life gets complicated before it actually gets better in this process. This one actually hit really hard for me, and I don't think people actually talk about it enough. There is a lonely middle period in this transition where your old habits don't fit anymore, but your new identity habits aren't actually fully formed yet. And I think that part shows up as a strain in your social life. Happy hours feel so different when you're truly paying attention to what you eat. Are you in your deficit? it? Do you have space for this? How should you substitute that? Even when you go to have like dinner with friends and everybody's opening and ordering freely, drinking, having bread, having seconds, dessert, and you're just trying to stay the course, stay within your numbers, that can feel so isolating. People who knew you before actually sometimes really push back and like cramp your style. And I wouldn't say that they mean to do it, but people get in this phase to where they're like, oh, you're too strict. Let yourself live a little bit. You used to be so much more fun. This is not their goals. This is your goals, and do what you need to do. What I want you to know is this phase is temporary, and it may feel like it's long because people gonna have stuff to say. They're gonna have stuff to say about how you eat, how you look. Oh, don't you think you're getting a little bit too small? Slow down. Or even people might say, oh, keep going. People don't realize the words that they say and the power that they have over people's lives with their words. And I don't think people do it on purpose, but if you're a person, try to ignore that noise. And here's the thing about the social life piece. It's not that you can't have one. It's that you're building a new version of it and you don't know what it looks like yet. I still eat out. I still drink. I still go out and have meals with friends. It just looks a little different now. And I actually have a video on how to prepare yourself for the weekends when you're trying to lose weight. I will go ahead and link that over here for you guys, but it has so many tips to help you just prepare for the weekend. Because sometimes you can have a great and amazing week and you ruin it in the matter of those 2 days during the weekend. I do personally think the social piece was a little bit easier for me because since I moved to Dallas, I kind of have a whole new circle here. I hang out with people that I usually wouldn't hang out with at home. So I didn't have as much social pressure to live a little bit. And even like some of the people that I hang out with, they're on the smaller side. So I kind of had it easier to be more conscious during my journey. But I know that is not the same for everybody else. Everybody doesn't have a clean slate like that. So just be mindful when you're out with your people that your goals are a little bit different. So you're doing things differently. And that doesn't make you bad. I just want to say this. The mental work never stops. I thought once I got to my goal weight, the mental noise would stop. And it did get quieter, but it did not disappear. There are days when my relationship with food feels effortless. I'm just like, oh, I'm so skinny. I love eating healthy food. This is so easy. This is my new way of living. And then I have days to where I got to be a little bit more intentional about my meals and how I show up in the world. There are moments where I still have to kind of just talk myself through things and not really be on autopilot. Walk into the refrigerator and just being like, sis, you're not hungry. Drink some water. What changes is actually your capacity. You get so much better at catching your spirals before they even happen because it's like, we're not doing that. Been there, done that. You even recognize, am I stressed out or am I actually hungry? And you can notice while you're eating, are you overdoing it? You develop a relationship with your own patterns that makes the hard days manageable instead of catastrophic because I can blow some stuff up in a day, not gonna hold you up. But mental work, I'm sorry to break it to you, is lifelong. I used to feel like weight loss was a destination, but baby, it is not a destination because you gotta maintain it. And that takes mental work. That takes identity shifts that you have to consciously make to stay at this place of maintenance, to stay in a body that you worked for, that you're comfortable in. Like you don't wanna just throw it down the drain, going back to old habits that did not serve you in the first place. I don't want to say that this is a lifelong thing to be discouraging because some people can feel like, oh my God, it's already taking forever. What do you mean I got to do this my whole life? I just want to be honest though. It's gonna take you changing your identity to make this like a life thing. And knowing that ahead of time makes it easier when you're having a hard 2 weeks or the scale isn't moving or you get to your goal number in the first place. Just knowing that this is a lifelong commitment ahead of time helps with all of that. The thing is, it's nothing wrong with you. Honestly, we're all just humans. And you have a brain that has been wired a certain way for years. So it's going to take some time to rewire a lot of the things that you do. So learn to not be so hard on yourself throughout this journey, but also have a balance with the grace that you give yourself to make sure that you are actually staying on top of what you need to be doing. So let's talk about hair for a quick second here. One of my viewers actually asked me, did I have to decenter hair to have a successful weight loss journey? And the answer is, in the beginning, I was looking crazy and big. I'm not even gonna hold you up. Here's the thing, I was just doing everything wrong in the weight loss journey in the beginning anyway, but I was just overworking myself and just sweating my hair out to the extreme. And I'm just like, hey, I gotta sacrifice my looks to get this weight off. And the weight wasn't even coming off. So here's the real shift that actually happened with the whole hair piece. Now this part is specifically a little bit for the black girls or textured hair girlies. I had to get comfortable with breaking black girl norms. I wash my hair every week. Hell, sometimes I wash my hair twice a week if I need to. I got to the place to where I chose my health over my hair. And the crazy thing is, I think there is a lot of misinformed information that black girls shouldn't wash their hair weekly. You should be most definitely washing your hair weekly because dirty hair doesn't make your hair necessarily grow. A healthy scalp is what makes your hair grow. The reason that your hair grows because your hair is going to grow anyway. So the thing about what I felt like was constantly washing my hair was actually a huge hurdle for me because I'm just like, should I be doing this? Is this good for my hair? But the crazy thing is a healthy scalp is going to have the best hair anyway. So just wash your hair. If you feel like your hair is getting dry, do a deep conditioning treatment, find a hydrating shampoo. But if you're sweating your ass off anyway, wash your hair. A lot of us get to a space to where we feel like we have to protect a hairstyle over our health. And I'm not judging because I lived that for a long time. But at some point I had to decide what actually mattered more. And once I made that decision, I stopped letting my hair be a hurdle in this journey. And now I have a whole routine that I feel like my hair pretty much always looks good. If you guys look at my videos, I get lots of comments actually on my hair. They're like, your hair looks good. I wear my hair silk pressed for the most part. Today I do have some clip-ins because I'm in my luteal phase, and I don't know about y'all, but sometimes in your luteal phase, the confidence can be on the little downward end. So I just added some hair to make myself feel a little bit better or zhuzhed up. Just hormonal girl problems there. Quick tangent. But here's the thing. I have a routine. I have products that help me really combat the sweat, make sure my hair is nice and clean and hydrated. Stretching hacks for your hair, like how to stretch your silk press the longest. And when I say the longest, I say a week. Styles that kind of just hold up best in your fitness journey. Done a few different things here and there. So I figured that piece out, and I actually feel my best with the silk press. So if you guys want to know a little bit more about how to decenter hair or how to make your hair beautiful while you're on a wellness journey, let me know and I can do a full video because I think we can go a little bit more in depth in detail than just this little segment. So let me tell you guys a little secret here. You go through this wellness journey, you lose weight because you want to become a better version of yourself, a healthier version of yourself. But here's the thing. The version on that other side of that weight loss is a stranger at first. This one thing actually surprised me the most. I thought I knew who I was becoming. Like I had an ideal picture in my head of what life would look like, how I would look, how I would feel, how life would be. And here's the thing, I got there, but I had to get to know that version of her because she actually wasn't truly what I expected. I think your identity actually catches up with your body a little bit on the slow side sometimes. You might still reach for like bigger size clothes. Y'all, I was reaching for a size 8 for the longest. I remember the day to where I realized, all right, I actually might be smaller than I think. I went to Target and I tried on this green romper. I reached for an 8 first, and then I was like, let me just grab a 6 and see. The 6 fit so cute. I'm gonna put a picture over here. But the thing was, low key, when I got home and I wore it, the 6 was actually still big. I needed a 4, but my brain couldn't comprehend of me being an 8'10" for so long going to a 4. So it's like, all right, we got to get her acclimated in this new space, in this new body. You might still see yourself the way you used to for a long time. Let me just tell you, body dysmorphia, she's so annoying. And then you'll get to a phase to where people will start to make comments on your body that actually make you feel uncomfortable, even though they might mean well. And when I say mean well, people will say, oh my God, you lost all that weight. Well, damn. I did, but like all that weight, like did it call for that? Or people will be like, oh, when you gonna stop? You're starting to look anorexic, you're starting to look sick, you don't look well. or, oh, keep going, like, damn, like, what if I'm comfortable here? So it's like people mean well with the things that they say, but they don't realize the identity, the mindset piece behind this journey. It's hard and it's tough. So honestly, I would just refrain from commenting on people's body, period. But here's the thing, you'll have to figure out who you are now, and not just size wise, but who you are becoming. What does she like to do? Who does she like to hang with? What does her routine and her schedule look like? You got to get to know her. For me, this has been the most meaningful part of my journey. This is the first time in my 31 years of life to where I felt truly comfortable in my body and my skin. I feel at home in my body. I'm not overanalyzing myself. I know for a fact if I go to the store, I'm going to find something to wear. I'm not out and about thinking like, oh my God, did I look stupid? Do I look fat? Are my clothes too tight? I am not showing up in this subconscious space that I used to. I might have a little bit of social anxiety still, but I think that's ADHD, and I think that's more of a different thing, but it's not about how I look or how I'm being perceived. I think the mindset shift happens, body changes, and then the self-concept actually starts to show up. Like the version of yourself that you were dreaming about, she starts to show up. But some things happen before she makes her appearance. But what's most important is you give yourself time for both, for the physical piece and for the mental piece, because there is a lot of mental work that goes in this journey. Because honestly, when it comes to weight loss, it is really as simple as calories in, calories out. It's a science, it's a whole math thing. And once you figure that piece out, you're good. But the mental rewiring that you have to do in your brain, sometimes, babe, that takes a little time. But all in all, nobody talks about the ugly middle parts, because that's not what people click on. They click on the dramatic results. But the middle in between all of this funky stuff actually determines if you even make it to your goal or the other side of what you're trying to achieve. Hair, the weird body phase, the lonely, isolating stretch of this journey, the mental piece, and the stranger in the mirror who slowly becomes you. Some of these things I really wish I'd known on the front end, but I didn't. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. So down in the comments below, I want you guys to drop some of these phases that you might be in, or something nobody actually warned you about in this journey and you would like other people to know. I want to hear it all. I want to see it all. And what I'm starting to like about my comment section is you guys are responding back to each other. And I think most of all, what is important during this time is community, because a wellness journey, weight loss journey, fitness journey can be so isolating, because guess what? Your friend may not want to do it. So you might have to befriend a stranger on the internet, befriend somebody at work. Like, your inner circle may not have the same goals as you, but community is low-key important sometimes. It helps with consistency. It helps with showing up for yourself. It helps just kind of keep you motivated. And if you didn't know, motivation is fickle. It comes and it goes, but having a support system and people around you can make the journey so much better. So anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.